Hello, my front-end friends, and welcome back to yet another video where I try and tackle creating a design that is not easy to do. And I found this design over on Dribbble and I said, that looks really cool. How can we make that background change, the color change, but the video stays there playing the entire time, but the content is changing? I wanted to see if I could figure out a way to do this. And so I decided to do it completely unprepared, unedited, and just do it. And because of that, I said, why not do it as a live stream? So this is my replay of my live stream from over on Twitch. I focused just on the parts in this video where I'm tackling the project itself. And with these unedited videos, you might have noticed one thing, that they're getting more and more complex as they go. And as you can see from the length of this one, it wasn't exactly as straightforward as I had planned. And so if you want to see me fumble around, make some mistakes, see how I correct those mistakes, and really break down my thought process on creating something that's a bit of a challenge, then you're in the right place. So let's go and dive in and take a look. Ooh, okay, I want to make sure I open the right one, which is here. So you can see right now, all I have is a video background and absolutely nothing else. So actually, I'm not used to streaming. I have a bit more real estate, so I can actually, I'm going to put this on the non-moving version just because it gets annoying when it's moving all the time. And I guess we start off, whoops, I don't want it bigger. Whatever. What did I do? Okay, there, that's better. So let's make a new index.html. We're just doing this HTML CSS, nothing too fancy, so style.css. And my video background. I'm not going to worry so much with the logo here or anything like that. I guess, I mean, okay, why don't we do that? Just because it sort of ups the difficulty. It's not hard. So that's why I'll do it. So I think what I'm going to do is one thing I have to think about a little bit here is when we're doing that, the best way to organize it in terms of this is where I know we can animate in Firefox, you can animate grid tracks, and I'm like, that might be the easiest way to do it, but it would only work in Firefox right now, so I'm not going to do that. Just because the thing I'm thinking now is just like from a basic, let's just do, like, I have my main, and I'm going to throw everything in there for now, or I guess we could do this, where we do, I mean, it's a stupid thing to get stuck on, but I do want to do it properly. So let's just say we have a div of, I'm going to call it main grid. In my main grid, we're going to have everything. So my main can obviously go in there. And I'm also going to come in here and do a div. I don't think this should be an aside, really. Maybe it's even the header. I'm just going to do a div for now, which could have the logo in there. And so I'll actually do two. In there, we can do a h1 logo, I guess. No, we'll just say p.logo, hello. Logo here, slopes. I'm not going to recreate that. And then we could have, I was putting divs, but I don't need divs. P logo, and then this is the copyright. P and class equals, we'll just do text sub dude. I don't know if we'll need it anywhere else, but we'll just say copyright here, 2022. So that will sort of be here, and that's on my main grid. So like these two will get stuck. I guess actually the easier way to do this would just be to have these in a div like that. So they're both living in the same area. Or would it be? I'm not sure. Okay, we'll leave it like this. This is where, okay, let's get to the fun part now. So here we're going to have a button that's going to be my open menu. So just menu. Because we click that would be a hamburger menu that then opens things. So we have that. Then we also, here I'm going to do a header. The header can go in the main, I think. I don't think there's an issue. Or do I do it like this, where I do that as my header. And then here we do video.video grid, video BG. We could do that, I guess. Just so it's a bit more of like a traditional setup. So the header is this area here that's living inside the video BG. And then we have my main that's going to be everything else here. And I guess we could do that as the footer down there. Okay, that works. Footer. And then here we can say social links. So in the header, we have the button. And then we're going to have a nav. I'll do primary nav. Inside the primary nav, we can do an ul nav list. And then inside of there, li times 4 with lorem 1. This is where I wish the lorem didn't come with the punctuation. Okay, so there's my navigation. That's that. So I mean, the layout here at least is easy. This is the fun part. And we have the second. I'm doing okay, whatever. Let's just build this out, and then we'll worry about the next steps after. Because I think I already no, the navigation's fine. It's this main area that we have to decide. So I'm going to throw this in a div because this might be how the magic happens. And we'll worry about the naming after, because I'm thinking what we might need to do is have one div for when it's white, like this part here. That's like the main, like the bigger navigation. Oh, that opens that, right? And then the other one for the blue one. So this would be my white div. This would be the blue one. So this button isn't touching this. This is touching here. So this would be a div. Okay, we'll worry about the accessibility of it too, I guess. But we'll come back to that. So here, let's just say this is my H1. Get fit to hit the slopes. We don't need to copy it exactly. This should be an M dash, but I don't know how to do one quickly. Winter in Sweden. That's my H1 there. Then I'll do a div here with a paragraph with lorem 30 because it looks pretty long. And the button underneath it. It's probably a link because it's send request. I'm guessing that's going to open up like another page. So I'm going to do that as an A going nowhere called send request. And we'll just call that a button. Class is equal to button. Then there's the social links. Again, I'm not going to stress too much about that. We're stressing mostly about the animation and everything. Buttono. There we go, button. It's not going to be perfect. Let's go live and see what we have to start with. So everything should more or less be there. We only really have 2 colors, right? So here, let's just do let's set up a little mini system. Color primary 400 will be that blue color. So I have Windows Power Toys installed. So if I do, I think it's Windows Shift C, or is it Windows Control C? Or is it neither one of those? Or is Power Toys just not running? No, it is running. It's Windows. 1 second. What's the shortcut for that? Windows Shift. I thought it was Windows Shift C. Ah, it is Windows Shift C. Okay, and then I can eyedrop colors, so I can get that blue color. Of course, it opened the link too, which X. Okay. So there's the color. I'll take the HSL version of it, and the rest of it's white, I guess, right? So we just have that color, and then I have my color and black. I think neutral 100 will be FFF, and color neutral 900, which will be my black, will just be 000. Simple on that front. We could set up a few font sizes here. Font size 400, which is my main font size. So we can say that's 1.125 rem. I'm just guessing at font sizes right now. Like, we're not going to worry too much. Font size 300. Oh, we have that grayed out color there too. So we'll put that in. That'd be my neutral 3. Normally, you'd build out something a little bit more here, but My color pickers aren't coming up for some reason. Oh well. Okay, I'm gonna use, we'll just do HSL because I can do it myself. So the hue doesn't matter. Saturation will be 0% saturation. And then the lightness of, it's like a 70%. That's probably pretty high. We'll try 70 and we'll see what that gives us for the gray text that's there. That font size also looks smaller, so I'm going to do that as a 975 rem. I'm also not worried about making this responsive. Sorry, everybody. I know it's fun, but I'm really just worried about that effect and sort of starting this project off. Oh, no. 1 second. Sorry. We'll just do that. Okay. If it's important, I'll find out in a second. When do not disturbs on the phone call can make it through, you know something's going on. That, okay, font size, the nav, so we can do like a 1.5 rem. I'm just guessing at my numbers here, just looking at the design. Font size 600 is like a 1. I'll do 2575, and then the font size 700 will be pretty big, like 3 rem, maybe 4 rem. It's pretty big, that one. Why aren't I using Sass? Because I don't know, I'm not. If I was doing something more complex, it would be worth it, but because I'm not like actually building this into a full project, I just said I'll keep it simple. Cool. Font sizes, we could do font weights too, but don't really need to make font weights out of them. I'm just looking really fast if there's anything else, but I think that's all I really want to get from there. So the first thing I'm going to do, and it's not very often I do this, but I'm actually going to do, or we should get a reset, I guess. I should use post CSS and at least bring in a reset, but you know, we'll just do like the base one. Margin 0, padding 0. Thank you very much, Coil Twitchbot. I appreciate the bits. Margin 0, padding 0, box sizing. So I mean, I wouldn't normally do border box a reset like this because it, but it will do the job. I'm also going to do font inherit just to make sure everything inherits fonts. This pretty much is just a short way to do it for all the form elements very easily and quickly. But yeah, I'd probably normally build out, I would normally build out a little bit more robust, but for what we're doing here, that should handle any issues I might run into along the way. Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at the chat to see, but I think I'm going pretty good. Okay, so with that, and you know what? Font is inherit, so let's come down here, and for now I'm just going to do body. When these series, oh, I have a typo. Oh, my before and after. Yeah, we could do, okay, we could, I don't want to necessarily do that on all, well, not that it would hurt. But if we did, whoops, star, I don't know if I'm going to use any pseudo elements in this one actually, before, star, after, just to make sure, makes our life a little bit easier, but I don't know if we'll need it. We'll see. Body, we'll say the font size is my var font size 400, which is just how I work. 400's my base for everything, so it's just, I always remember that. It's nice and easy. One thing I don't normally, having some sizing variables could be nice, but we're just going to do margin. Normally you do a margin 0 on your body just to get rid of it, and actually this is doing that. But I actually want to come in with a pretty healthy margin now, just because if you look at the design, I'm assuming the white space around here is like space on the body itself, so we can just do that. So that should solve that problem. That's my body and let's set a font family of system UI sans serif, just so I don't have to stress about the font family for now. We could come in and create a few. I'm going to be using Flex here. I'm going to be using grid, but the grid's going to be kind of custom set up, so I'm not going to stress too much. Let's go see the white version of this for a second. We're probably going to use grid for that, just to make them all equal. Okay, so I'm just going to create a few like really fast selectors here. So we can do flex row of display flex, and we'll just throw a gap of var gap comma 2rem. I'm going to rem, we'll do 1 and we can overwrite it just so I can show you why I like doing this. But it just means it's very easy to overwrite your gap when you use the flex row. So when I set that up, I can customize it there. I'm going to have grid even columns, and we can do a display. Thank you very much for resubbing, Autinaps. Appreciate that. Display grid and grid auto again. Grid. I'm going to do grid auto flow of column and grid auto columns of 1FR. If you've never seen me do this, I've shown this type of thing before. This can be useful to have it in a media query. So like you have your display grid and then you only turn the columns on at a certain size, because this is going to force everything to be columns. So this is definitely not mobile first at all. But just for what we're doing, a lot of this stage is just setting the stage to get to where we want to get on that. Cool. Let's go back to here for a second. I don't need you open. I did a video BG class. For now, let's come in and just say .video BG. I'm just going to give it a background of light gray, which isn't that light. I should probably just do gray, because gray is lighter than light gray. That's one of the fun things with CSS. Just because I want to be able to see what's happening in there a little bit, that's going to have some padding on it. So the light gray is literally my blue background right now. So that's going to have some padding on it. Yeah, I think I know how I'm going to do this. Okay, padding is going to be, see, this is where I should have turned, like the spacing here looks pretty similar to the spacing on the inside of it as well. So that's where you could come in and say this is like my, we have a space or size. I tend to go with space, and sizes from open props. I've been using that a lot. So, but we could say like space 1 is, we'll do a space 4 is 1rem. I don't know if we'll need smaller ones, but space 5 can be 1.5 rems, and a space 6 can be 2rem or whatever. You can come up with something. You could even do this based on calcs. So this is var space 4. Whoops, that should be in a calc since I'm talking about it. So we could do a var space 4 times 1.5. And then you could even turn this into a variable. So you could have you could make it easier to sort of adjust your system as you're going. So you change your multiplier factor custom property, and then that could change all of your spacing and stuff. But I'm not going to worry about that for now. Let's just duplicate that a few times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the reason I went 4 here and not 1 is just because you might want a 0.5 and a 0.75 and other stuff that could be my smaller numbers. And again, this could be 400 and everything, but 4, 5, 6. I guess I should do that actually as like 400, 500, 600, 700, just to be more consistent with everything I'm doing, but whatever. So again, the advantage there is now I can do this as my var space, is it 8? Yeah. So then it's just easier because it's consistent. So if I change that one, it's also going to change this one at the same time if I want them to change. So maybe if I change them both to a 7, it's different. But if I just change what my space 8 is doing, I could also have this one, and you can remap stuff. So you could come down and say that this is actually I don't like having all these custom properties. This is where, if I don't know if Mike's here now or not, but having it as Sass things that aren't exposed can be useful, just because it does create some extra custom, like a little bit of bloat, I guess, on the custom property side. Because what you could do is like body padding is my var space 8, and then you use your body padding where you want, and that way if you want to change that one value without changing what space 8 is, that's really easy to do. And abstracting things away like that can be really, really useful. So why don't we do that for now? So that would become my body padding, and that would become my body padding. So they're always the same value, but then I can change both of them away from 8 to a 7 to a 6 or whatever very easily. Or if I need just to change 8 across the board through my whole site, I can also do that. So that gives me my space there. That should give me my space there. I guess we should actually look at what this is giving us. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I was like, why is nothing working? I wrote all of this. Let's cut that. Exclamation point tab. And get our boilerplate in. And we'll do a link CSS. Style.css is good. And I'll paste that back in here. And let's just give this a slope. Now let's go see, and we should have just the same thing we had before. Save, style.css, style.css. Why is my style sheet not working? Is it not working? The best way to see if a style sheet is working or not is to put a background color of red. And let's go. Oh, I know why. Maybe. If you use like the live things, whether it's a browser sync or just like the live compiler thing that we have here, if you're using those and there's no HTML, I think, or whatever, there's something they hook into that I hadn't written, so it wasn't actually hooked in and it wasn't live. So we can turn off that red background. There we go. We can actually see what we're working on now. So let's just fix this up a little bit this way. Okay. So if we can actually start working on the layout now. So I had my main grid, so let's set that one up first. Body, flex row. So these are all just, well, my video BG is going to come in after. So let's come here and say this is my main grid. And we're going to do a grid template columns of, I'm going to say min content. This always bites me when I use it, so it's maybe a bad idea. And it also didn't work. Let's go see why it's not working. Oh, display grid would help. Even I say I know what I'm doing with CSS, but clearly I don't. Okay, so that should set that up, but it's already not working as intended. This, oh, okay, right. Okay, let's just put this all in a div then. There we go. It just makes it a bit easier. This is a div, no class on it. I might need one eventually to space it out a little better, but whatever. That should do the job there. Then we want to do this guy here. And I did a min content. I don't think that was the right idea just because this is multiple lines of text. So, you know what we'll do? Let's just say 300 pixels, 200 pixels. I don't know. We could come in with a better number there, but that gives us that. I'm going to cheat a little bit just instead of giving it a class, main grid, nth child 1. We can just do a text align center and just justify align content space between. Does this work? I don't do it very often. No. No. There's a way of doing that with grid, isn't there? Where I could tell that to go all the way down. Oh, I might know why too. Okay, let's go bigger on this because this is going to cause some problems. Because I need my dev tools to help me know what I'm doing. There's my grid. Oh, because it's one cell. That's so stupid. Okay, that's why. So here I could do a display grid again, and then align items, align content. I would imagine space between. Have I ever done this? Yeah, it did work. Okay, so that pushes them far apart that way. That's definitely a grid thing. So that's because I nested this grid inside. So we have a grid inside the aligned content. It's pushing top and bottom. So nothing too complicated there. 200's a bit much here. Let's just do 150. Especially, I'm not, there we go. Yeah. One thing I'm sort of noticing is the space on this side looks identical to the space on that side, which actually is a little harder to do. Because this side is going to be in my body padding. So I'm actually wondering if here I should do a margin right. Or no, what we could do is a column gap, right? Column, let's just do gap 0, and then var body padding. So it puts the spaces here and that same space is here now, because that's the gap between these two. And because I know this is really specific for like this type of use case, but because I know that my grid is only going to be, I know my grid's only going to be using this, it's never going to change. I think that it works in this situation to get the equal spacing on the two sides. All right, so we need it to be taller. So there's a few different ways you can make things fit the screen for the height. The easiest one is probably display grid and height 100. Well, that's not going to work. I could do VH, but that's going to break things actually, VH. Because it doesn't take into account, but what we can do is this. And now VH, I actually saw a really cool thing on Twitter and I wish I saved it, showing the issues with VH on mobile. But what we can do, minus var body padding times 2 probably. Oop, I broke it. That should work though. I should be able to do that. Can I not do that? I thought you could do that. Because it'd be like, I want 16 RAM here anyway. No, 8? Was it 8? It would be 8. So why can I not do, you can't subtract from that? Calc minus, oh, now it's really broken. Oh, it was 8. Yeah, it's double this. Okay, so I was right. I did something wrong, I guess, when I wrote it before. So then here you can do a calc of body padding times 2. There we go. And that way, if ever you change your body padding, everything just magically updates. So we're saying it should be 100% of the viewport, but if we do that, it's not looking at the space it had to live. You could just put HTML height 100 and then body height 100, and you'd probably fix the problem. But even then, actually, it might get too big. I'm not sure because of the margins we put on here. I don't need 2 nested calcs. Let's see. You're right. I shouldn't need 2 nested calcs. But I do need 2 parentheses. Oh, and then this should be out here. There we go. Okay, it's a little cleaner. So we're saying take 100%, then we want to take the body padding. Can I put this in brackets just to make it easier to read, or is that going to break it? You can do that. Okay, so I sort of like that I can make it, that link. And just to show you now, if we change my body padding to space 4, everything will just update. So this space, the space on the top, like everything updates all at the same time. So that's why custom properties, or you could do it with CSS variables too, or Sass variables or whatever, but this type of thing can be so useful when you build it into other places and sort of incorporate those into different places just so you can update things so much easier instead of having a number that you have to update like 12 different times if you make a change. Okay, so let's get the layout in here. I'm not going to stress too much about it. I've set up some font sizes and stuff, but honestly, I just really want to I'm jumping at the bit to get to the cool part. So let's go look here. I had my video BG as the header. And then I have my main. So my main, why did I put this div? I have an empty div. I was thinking of something and I changed my mind. But then I have my ooh, 1 second here. div. This should be close div. I must have just, okay, so h1 is in the first div, so that'd be my first column. And then this can all come back this way. I should hit save and I'll know if I muck things up. So my main open div, close div, open div, close div, this close div we don't need. Okay. So main, let's give this a class just so we know what it's doing. I don't even know what to call that. It's a 2-column grid, but it's like a 60-40 grid maybe. We call that grid 60-40. Just again, instead of saying like, doing something like this that makes it so you could use it in different places. Maybe it's even like 70-30. So it's like does this type of pattern repeat somewhere else? You could use the same grid then. So let's come up to here where I just have like these utility class things more. Grid 60-40. So that will get a display grid on it. You could also make like a display grid utility class. So you would do grid and then grid 60-40 or 70-30 or whatever. Or if you have a lot of classes that start like that, whenever you use it, you could also just have like a selector that's class is star equal to grid, and then have that be display grid. So you only have to declare it once. I think that would work. This might actually have to be this one. I forget which one is. I think this is like anywhere in it, whereas maybe it's this one is starts with. I'm sure the chat can correct me on that one. Prettier's working for me. Watch. Hit save, and it's fixing it. It doesn't do it while I'm typing. Prettier's only updating for me when I hit save, but it won't delete like extra tags and stuff. But yeah, you could do something like that if you're always having a prefix on there. JS Cure, thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, but I'm just going to do my display grid here, and we'll say grid template columns var, not var. What is it? I said 70-30 in the end, didn't I? 70-30. See, I mean, you could have a whole system, right? 70-30. And then that's nice and easy, 70%, 30%. Again, this, I'm not worried about mobile. So a lot of this you might want to have in media queries or whatever if we're doing mobile first. 70-30, and then a gap on here as well. Gap var gap comma var space 4. Just to throw a default in there. So by default it will be this, but if we need to overwrite it, we can. We also have my nav list. Let's fix that up really fast. So I have a flex row. Let's go use that flex row here. So here's where I want to use. So I have a nav list. We can say my nav list is a flex row, and they all should go next to one another. They're still a nav list, so they have the bullet points. But if you remember, I put a custom property on here saying that the gap and the default gap right now is 1. So we could even change that. Var space 4. It's probably a little bit bigger, I think. No, it's the same. Okay. But what you can do in these situations, you could select your, I could select my selector, my primary nav, or my nav list, and then change it. Or I could just come on here and say style. And oh my goodness, inline styles. Gap is, I don't know, var size 8. And I didn't do that right. I should be able to do that, right? I can reference if I do 8 rem. Oh, I can't. I either referenced it wrong, or oh, size 8 with 1 hyphen. Still not working. It's okay. I'm just going to do an 8 rem just to show you that you can update it here if you want to. We could look at another cool thing we could do with that. But this is there's nothing wrong with inline styling overrides as long as if you're working in a team, you know that's what's happening, just so somebody doesn't get stuck wondering why a gap isn't, or where the gap is coming from, and they're sort of in their style sheet and they're a little bit lost. But you see this quite often, actually. And if you're using JavaScript to modify them, you'll see stuff like that too. Okay. that gives me that. And actually here my header should also be a flex class equals flex row, class equals flex, oops, flex row. So that's display flex. On that flex row, we probably, this is up to you on how you like to work. So we do flex, or no, I don't want that. I can just do justify content space between. This is obviously very verbose. If you're used to Tailwind, I don't know, is it JCSB or something? I don't mind having it longer. You could do maybe SB here, justify content space between, or JC and actually write it out. I'm going to leave it really verbose. I really don't mind. The nice thing with this is it can work for both flex and for grid. Like here, I did an align items space between. That can only work with grid, I think. Maybe it could work with flex too, I'm not sure. But, you know, coming in with utility classes like this can let you work a little bit faster. When obviously the first time you do it, it's a little bit longer, but then when you can just reuse the class again, it can go pretty quickly. Whether you like that or not, it's up to you. And again, like I still have to come into my nav to, or you could, right now, like my nav list has the bullet points. So there's different ways of getting rid of that as well. Let's just come here and say nav list style is none. And it gets rid of those. I didn't even make them links. Look at that. And let's just do a font weight of 700. So we have a bold font on there. My main grid, I just thought, so we have this setting up okay. Let's just look at the grid. That's my main grid. Then I have my, that's that grid, this area. Okay, so that's my video BG, which doesn't have a class on it yet. I just thought of something though. Oh no. I did that wrong. I didn't do it wrong. It's not the end of the world, but we're going to do this. This is going to be terrible naming. I'm going to call this content grid. And in my content grid, so the content grid will give us my layout. And then all the way down here after my footer, let's just do my .video bg. We're going to try that. Should I even do that like that is my next question, or should this just be the, anyway, let's do that. So my video BG is fine. Main grid, everything broke. Oh no, that's still there. Okay, good. I thought I broke everything there for a second. The height of things did break though. So what I want, so if I have my content grid, wait, what? I don't get, I had my main grid. My main grid is still working. Then I have that div there, and then I have my content grid here. Perfect. Okay, good. So one thing we can do, let's go to my video BG. I think I might have broke a few things when I did that, but we'll fix it. Oh, it's because this padding is not working anymore. So this padding we'll take away from here in a second. Yeah, we will. One cool thing you can do though with grid is because the video, if I look at here, I have my main grid, no, this grid, my content grid. Oh, I didn't do display grid on there yet. My content grids, let's do that first. Content grid, display grid. This is a weird mix of like good practice and terrible practice. Because this is now a grid, you can see there's the grid where it's living. I can come on this and say position absolute. And with position absolute, I can then do an inset of 0 of, that's not going to work. 1 second. We still want to do a position relative here. Position relative. Okay, I'm going to have to revise all of this once again. That's okay. Position relative, we don't need to do that. This isn't going to be a content grid. This is going to be a stack. Position grid and grid template areas of stack. And then what we're going to do is stack and select all the children and say the grid area for all the children is my stack. This then we don't need a position absolute on. So, okay. I'm going to leave this content grid here maybe. Let me just think for a second. Content grid has everything in it, including my background right now. I'm going to pull the background out of there. So let's first take my video background. It's going to be on its own. Perfect. And then, yeah, perfect. I can leave that like that. And then let's start here, come all the way down, including my video BG. And we're going to wrap all of that of a dot stack. It worked. Okay, so I realized I was doing this in my head. So just really fast, we have a div of stack. And then we have this content grid here, and then we have the video BG. And the content grid and the video BG are both inside my stack. And what that means is the content grid is all of the content, and I can do my grid display and all my stuff in there that I need to do to get the layout working. And then I have the video BG that's going to be a layer underneath it. Because eventually I'm going to have another div here. Div class, I don't know what class is going to be that nav. Oh, that was that empty one that I'd had originally. Huh, there we go. Okay. So we're going to have that other one here, which is my navigation one or whatever. That one that like comes back and leaves. And so all of these are actually going to be stacked on top of each other. The video background is always going to be visible. This one's always going to be there. And my navigation is going to be layered on top of that. And I'm going to use a clip path to try and go back and forth to hide and show. There is one issue with that. I can't, if I do that, this header shouldn't be in here because the header never goes away. So the whole header is actually going to come out of the content grid, which sort of sucks. But I think I'm going to have to do that and put that here. I think that's the only way to get that to work. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing with this. This is a complete experiment on my part. So hopefully this actually makes this possible. Obviously, one thing that's happened now is my video background is covering everything else. This is a grid item now. Grid items can use z-index. So z-index of -1. That can be a little dangerous, but it should work in this place. And there we go. It's working. And all my content's coming in. The layouts are very broken because there's a lot of overlapping content and other issues that are sort of going on right now. But at least we're there, and that's working. Okay, hopefully this actually makes sense. So I called it content grid. So that's my main grid, I'm just stack and stack actually can come up. These are more like utility classes, which are grid related. So I'll put those with those. Main grid is there. Stack, that's fine. Video BG, we're going to come here and do my content grid. This is already a bit more complex than I was hoping, but that's okay. I knew it wouldn't be easy. I think we're okay now. So content grid is going to be a display grid. I'm just going to do at the top padding of var. Oh, do I even need? Maybe I can get away without padding. Let's do a display grid and a align content center and just see what that gives us. I have my social links in there. Did the social links come with us, or are the social links on their own when it animates? Are they on both pages? They're on both pages too. Oh, and there's a. I'm just gonna not bother with the search. Not that it's a big deal. But that means here, if I go, my footer actually will get pulled out of my main grid and get positioned over here. And then that center on that actually works out pretty well. Didn't I make that a H1? Why is it so small? I'm selecting my footer. Again, everything's overlapping in weird ways right now, which I'll have to fix. Content grid, main, div, H1. Did I do some? Oh, my font inherit. Perfect. Okay, that's right. So let's just come up and style things really fast. H1 font size is my var font size 700. And the font weight are font weight. Oh, I don't have a variable for that. 700. Okay. Cool. So because I'm using the stack, the stack is getting everything to fill up the entire space, but I sort of want the navigation, not that one. I want this, I want the header only at the top. I want these guys are going to be that center, so they're going to be fine. And then the footer, I want it to sort of stay at the bottom all the time. I've seen a fun use case. I don't remember where. I'm going to try and remember. But if I do header, maybe I'm using the stack. It might be better to do this with a slightly different approach. But you can also do this just as a bit of a different way. Yeah. 1 second. This is if it's inside stack. So I'm going to keep this with my stack class. Just because it gets... I'm not happy with this, but it's going to work. Align self start. And then we could do stack footer is align self. And I think there's probably a better way to write that. But it should stop those. Like now my... the grid itself is everything, which is fine. This one should be everything, which would be fine, but this one's actually stuck to the top, and this one's stuck to the bottom. Okay, so now what I need to do is that's all on my stack. So the stack class ideally would be only doing one thing. So this is going to get a little messy, but I want to get to the cool part of this. So I am on the stack. Do I do it if the stack is nested somewhere? Like if it's nested in the main grid, or I'm just going to cheat for now anyway. Var padding, var padding body. Is it padding body or body padding? Padding body, isn't it? Body padding, body padding. I had a feeling I did that. Body padding, which, yeah. And then this. Oh, see, that's an issue. Oh, I didn't think of that. I thought, yeah, that makes sense actually. Okay, so that comes off of here then. Don't want to do that. Huh, that's an interesting problem. Because I want to be able to keep... So then do I need to use position absolute? Because if I do this, whoops, if I do that padding thing, everything gets sucked in, which is sort of what I want, but I don't want that to happen to the footer or the video BG, right? I could use a transform. I could do like a negative thing on it. Oh wait, no, yeah. So I think if I do position absolute though, and inset 0, and that would be oh, it's still, I can't do, oh, well, I could do this, var calc -1 times var body padding. There's probably a better solution than that to this, to be honest. I would hope there's a better solution to that, to be honest. But whatever, it sort of worked. Okay. Thank you very much, Hector, for the bits, and Web Dev Journey saying dirty coding. This is not something that this is a proof of concept we're doing right now, I think. And then you could worry about actually making it good. Yeah, someone asking if we're going to add some JavaScript. We'll do a little bit. Evan, at the end of the stream, I'll jump over to the questions to take a look at them. or closer to the end. What's the proof? The proof of concept is not, well, everything I'm doing with the layout and just getting the animation to work to see if my idea actually works. Feeble excuse. I know it's a feeble excuse, but so yeah, it's just to try and prove that we can actually do this. So this guy, I mean, this is, I'll be honest, right now looking at this, I think I could have taken a much easier way to do it than how I've done it right now. But I don't like, the main reason that I think that it's just because I need this background to fill up this entire space, but I need the content inside here to be able to change without touching these other things. So like if that wasn't the case, if I just needed this layout, I think we could have taken a much, much, much simpler approach. But because when the animation happens with the background moving out of the way, I need most of this stuff to stay, or even if we wanted to do something like that, like there I'm only changing what's here, or there I'm keeping that, but it's this other content that's changing. It's not going to look as good as this one, but we're going to find out if it's possible or not. And again, I don't even know if this is the right approach to doing it at all, to be honest. And I was going to use clip path, but I have a bit of a different idea that just came to me. We could use overflow hidden and move things around as well. I have like a container thing. Which one are we going to do? I'm not even sure what's the better solution. Should we have a container that's just moving back and forth? No, we don't want to do that. Clip path would work better. And the reason I'm saying that is when it moves back and forth, the text is always staying still. If the text were to move off like carousel style, then I would say like the up and down there would be a parent container, and we could move the parent container. Because in this case, the text is always still and it's just sort of things are moving back and forth, I'm going to use a clip path to do it. Okay, good. My original idea is coming back in. So I was going to build out like a full navigation here for the other side. I don't know if I'm going to do the whole thing now. There's my header here, like this one. Let's just put some content here for now. Let's just call this, I put my navigation. This was going to be my grid. Grid even columns, or did I call it even columns grid? My naming, I need to get consistent with how I name stuff. Grid even columns, okay, good. So let's hit save. Let's just do a div of div times 4. Each one will get a UL with a UL. Each div will get a UL. No, we'll do two things. Each div will get an H3 with a bit of text, lorem 3. No, I think it's even less, lorem 1. And plus a UL. Inside each UL, we'll have li times 1. And we'll just do that. They won't be links. That's fine. Normally they would be links, obviously. Does that make sense? 4 divs, H3 plus that. I think that makes sense, except my autocomplete doesn't want to work. Come on, Emmett. What? Come on. If I don't want to type that out again. Ha, there we go. 1 div, 2 divs. So if I hit save, there we go. They're all stacked on top of each other. That's my grid even columns. That's my content grid. I want them both, so let's just do an align content center class. Since, whoops, I'm using it on both of them. I don't know if the align content center is really the best way to go for these, but there might be a better way to actually build out these grids like this, but whatever. Align content center. Cool. And now I just realized I have another problem though. Oh, crap. Maybe I don't. Okay, we're gonna find out in a second if I have a problem or not. This is, yeah, so I have my content grid. Let's give you a background of blue, or we have a color there, so we'll do var primary 400. Turn off this one for a sec. Oh, I did color probably. Color primary. Ha, there. Okay, good. So we did run into that problem too. It's not big enough. So I might need to find another way to push everything in, which is okay. And I guess the color here, color var color neutral 100 for white. Okay, and then we want to do, that's my content grid, and then I had the other one, which is my content grid and grid even. I just do grid even columns, so I will give this one a nav grid or something, whatever. It could use a better name, but nav grid, this we can take off. Not what I wanted to do. Nav grid will have a background of var color neutral 100 and a background that is var, not background, a color var color neutral 900 because we have the black on there. Just for fun, if I do z index 10, that should bring it to the front. There we go. Okay. Oh no, I thought my nav list, I didn't put any content in these. That's okay. Let's fix that. Li lorem 1, li times 3. I'll do 4. And then I can just copy and paste that. Copy, paste, paste, paste. There we go. Okay, so we have a little bit of something happening at least. So my nav grid now is the fun part. I don't do a lot of clip path stuff, but clip path, is it just like that? Let's go 1 second. Clip path generator. I think I just want 0, 0, 0 on everything. But basically we want, I'll put this link in the chat. This is the best ever. Thanks everybody who's letting people in the chat know what we're doing, by the way. I appreciate it. So I just want something to start with that is like this. So yeah, it's inset. Oh, they have the inset keyword in here? I didn't realize that. So I can just do that. That's cool. And then nav grid data visible or should I do data, whatever, I'll just do close. Do we do data, whatever, closed for now. I can always update it. Then this guy is just going to squeeze all the way over that way. This inset is great. That's so much easier to work than trying to, like, when you do a trapezoid or something and you have to do the polygon. I didn't know we had an inset with clip path. That's fantastic. And then, and actually in yesterday's AMA, we were talking about animating clip paths, and that it can be, the performance of it's not terrible. So we should be able to transition the clip path over, let's say, 300 milliseconds. I'm just going to do an ease for now, so we have something. And to see if it works, my nav grid, if I come on here, I should just be able to double and write in closed. Aha, aha, it worked. And then we should be able to come in here and get rid of the closed. Yes, so that's the basic idea. It took all that to get to our basic idea of what I want to be doing, but at least we got there. Obviously we need the video playing, we need the colors, and the background color of the blue one is going to screw us up. No, it won't. Maybe. Depends on how the filters are going to work. This is going to be interesting. So I guess we can bring our background video in. So here I will have to come in and do a video. Video. And so we can go to that guy. We want to have, let's just put that, it won't be running, but at least it's there. We can put the autoplay on after to see if it's actually going to work. Why is oh, the video is huge, right? Okay. I didn't worry about optimizing it or anything. I just edited, I grabbed a video I'm allowed to use and did a quick thing on it to get it to work. So video, So let's just say video BG, do I need to, do I need to do this, or can I just do this? If I do that, then here, max width 100%, max height 100%, object fit cover. Oh, and I also want to say height is 100% and the width is 100% to make sure it fills the space. Why is it so small? Oh, because it's the padding. The 100%s are looking at the padding, and they're not taking into account that extra space that I'd set up. So like the width and the height are looking at it's making it the wrong size basically, because of how I set that up with the padding. How can I do that without mucking everything up? I guess I could just make a container for everything when I need text on it. Again, we're doing messy coding, right? Is it, oh, not sure. Not sure. We're gonna experiment here. There's no way this is the best way to do this. No way. Var padding body. I'm just throwing it everywhere. That just broke it completely. I have a typo. Body padding, thank you. Body padding. Thanks, everybody. Copy, Control D, Control D. Oh no, I'm copying the wrong one, not the one I got wrong. Control D, D, D. No, I want the whole word. Come on. Control D, 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 paste. It didn't fix it. Okay. So what that means to me is I need to fix the problem I have with my spacing. Or I go back to, let's get rid of all of you. And I like easy solutions. So I think if I do this as a div and have that on here, because if the video is living inside of like a very specific space, so in this case it's living inside of this div, it should be easier to get the video to actually match the size of that, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but we're about to find out. Video's a pain in the butt to deal with. Width 100%, height 100%, object fit cover. There we go. Obviously, I have to fix this other issue that I have with these other ones, though. Picture in picture. Thanks, Firefox. Okay. I was hoping that would work, and I'm glad that it did. So next, I can't see. Okay, so what I did is I gave my white background. The changing of the colors here is going to be the hardest part for. Anyway, I gave this guy a Z index of 10. So here, what I might do, Z index 10, whatever, this is fine. That's 10, so it just means my nav list needs a Z index 100. Oh no, not even that. This, my header and my footer both need, just so they're on top. Obviously, it could be 11 and it would still work, but okay. I'm gonna let's put that back on closed for a second. So I'm actually gonna come here, and I'm gonna close it manually. Excuse me. So that's this one, right? Closed. Just because I want to get the mix blend mode working with the blue. And if this fails me now, I'll worry about the padding issue after. If this doesn't work, I'm going to be so upset. Main grid, where's my content grid? This is what my naming on this is terrible. Mix. Oh, is this even gonna work? Oh, we'll find out. I'm worried about the text now. I might have to come up with it. See, that works, but it screws the text up. I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that at all. So the other solution then which maybe is easier in a sense. Is the backgrounds will actually have to be separate elements without any content in them. So I could do color BG blue. I'm going off the rails. I've gotten so much lazier as I've gone with this white in how I'm going to approach this. I mean, honestly, all this is the same. So let's just copy that. I'm going to paste you here and take the gray out. And this will just keep the gray. I don't even need the gray. I don't need anything here. Okay, and then this one, we can just do color BG blue. And then you are background var color primary 400. And see, this I guess should be like color BG, white color BG primary. And do I even blended? Or we could just do this. We can just have a utility class of whatever. Yeah, we could do that, and it's just my background color. And then this could be a BG primary, BG, and even like I could have a BG, I'll just do white or whatever, that's fine. I'm just trying to think, like I could do a utility class that would be just setting background colors because I tend to do that anyway a lot of the time. I'm trying to change to surface now instead of BG, but for this purpose it's fine. And I could have a background class and then I could have another class for the blending mode. That would just make it so it's a bit more reusable in other places in the site rather than like this one specific location. But just because I want to focus on this one thing for now, I am going to do, so background is that, and the mix blend mode, just because it's going to be a lot faster to do this, so multiply on there. And that means we do end up with empty divs, which I'm a fan of. I can't think of a way to, like, I could maybe do it with pseudo elements. I'll check the typo in a second. Thank you for that. Class is, it really jars me. I need to turn the volume back down on those. It depends if there's music playing or not, I guess. BG primary, BG primary. I saw it and then it vanished. Multiply, is that it? Multiply, did I misspell that? And then this shouldn't be here, this should be here. Or not, or not. Wait, what? What did I do? Oh, okay, I had the whole thing there. Whoo, footer. Okay, we'll leave that there then. Why is that going below the video? Oh, because they're all of the same Z index. Ha, okay, remove that. Z index -1. The white one's gonna have to go on top, I think. Z index -1. And then this one can be a Maybe I want it on the whole BG video though. Video, just in case. I don't think it would matter, but video BG Z index of -3. Cool, cool, cool. So that's there. The social links, everything we can still see. Let's just throw, I just realized, like, we can't read it. That, I don't know how I could change the color to blue in the way they do it. I think I just have to have that fade in. This part we can get working now, though. Okay, we're just going to focus on that. We'll do a quick thing to do that. What should we do? What should we do? What should we do? So, okay, let's get the menu working so I can actually test to see if anything's working here. So we will need to write some JavaScript. I'm going to be really lazy, everybody. Let's just come here. And so our const menu toggle is equal to document. I'm writing JavaScript. I should probably make this a little bit bigger so we can see my lines. Document.query selector. Did I even give it a class? Menu toggle or nav toggle. I said we worried about accessibility. I think I'll just, when I do my YouTube video, link to a video where I talk about that, because I've talked about that before. So that was my, I called it menu toggle here. I should call it the same thing here. Button menu toggle. We could look at the accessibility quickly though. Menu toggle. Menu toggle add event listener for a click, and when somebody clicks we want to do something, and we want then, so we need to select my nav grid. I guess yeah, we can go with nav grid, that's fine. Const nav grid, or nav grid, it's fine. I was gonna think it's more like an overlay, but query selector of nav grid. And then we want to say nav grid class list toggle closed. For things like this, if you're going to do it with a class, it's probably best to say it's like JS closed or something, just to indicate that it's done like that, or with a attribute. I like doing it with attributes usually and attribute selectors, but I just want to see. Of course, it's not working. Console, add event listener. I'm missing an A in dot. Where am I missing a letter? Oh, thank you. Ah, there we go. Cool. So it works. Nice and simple on that front. So let's leave it open for a second and come on here and figure out how we can get this to work. Mix, blend, mode. Is it color? Okay, let's go look at the mix, blend modes. Mix, blend, mode. I'm so sure there's one that just removes. There is a mix, blend mode color. Oh, but it's not working because it's white maybe. Saturation is going to muck the stuff up too. Can I not do this with pure white the way I was expecting to do it? And what I might be better off doing, I just realized, is actually just having a black and white video and then having the blue one come and add the color to it. I think might be the better solution. Let's just do saturation and see what that does. That's not doing anything either. Okay, let's just give this a different color. Background of purple, just because I want to see. Oh, because I'm not using my BG white maybe? Or I have a white background coming from somewhere else. 1 second. Because I didn't use that is why. I have the color coming from up here right now, so of course nothing's going to work. Because I haven't done... Why did I think that I would need... Oh, to get to fill the whole space. Correct. So here for now, let's just say that this is my BG white, I think I called it, right? Okay, so there. Oh, and look! I don't know why, but it now takes over the entire thing. But I don't have any... Oh, I lost my content. I lost the text because it's wrapped in that. Right. Okay, so what we want to do... That's why we had to break everything out. Okay, so now if I do it... Okay, that's weird that it worked for the whole thing there, though, eh? Okay, whatever. So here's my BG primary. Then we're going to have my BG white here, which is doing nothing because it doesn't have a background color on it. Background purple. Is purple the wrong choice? Let's turn off saturation for a sec. It is there. Okay. Let's get this working with the white background first, and then we'll do it for the other thing. So we need to select the BG white as well. So const, this is why like it BG white, like the name BG white. I would have to come up with better names here for this to actually work. Query selector. I guess you could also do this with something that's a little bit more scoped, like I'm doing document.querySelector, but you could also, get your whatever component you're calling this thing, and then have all of these selectors be more local to that, so you're not worried about grabbing the wrong thing by accident. But I think having some data attributes and stuff, so you can really be specific on the ones that you want this to work with, would be a better approach. But we're just getting it working right now, so BG white. So we've selected the BG white, and I'm just going to do this. So closed. We're going to closed. Do I just do the same thing that I did there? My one worry. Anyway, we're going to try. We're going to do the exact same thing and see what happens. Nav grid and BG white. And again, maybe there's a better way of doing this type of thing. I really feel like I didn't stumble across the correct solution at this point, but I'm pretty sure it's going to work. So let's come down to my BG white and say this is closed as well. Which did nothing because let's find closed. I did that like that. So maybe we could do closed clip path. And then this clip path, I'm going to take off. Let's make this a little more universal maybe. No, okay. I'm just going to, there's definitely a way we could use like a utility class to make this a little bit better. I broke, oh, they're both closed now, I think. They're both closed and I broke everything. But yeah, oh, because I changed the class name. There's definitely something, my brain's not there right now, but there's definitely something we could do to make this a little more universal and a little less like locked into our system. But we could then just say on both of these, clip, path closed. So I think that should remove it and open it. No, am I wrong? I'm not getting any console errors, so that's good. So let's just go see. Oh, I still have a closed class. Is closed doing anything by itself right now, though? No, closed shouldn't be doing anything by itself. This is here. One second. This should be gone. Whoops, don't want to do that. And then if I remove clip path closed, nothing's happening. I mucked something up. I should probably be looking at the chat because somebody else. Oh, wait, this is clip path closed. There's a typo somewhere. Here, closed clip path. Oh, okay. Here, what did I write? Closed clip path. Well, that's going to help a little bit, but not completely. Closed clip path, and then I'm probably toggling the wrong class here. Closed clip path. There you go. If you toggle the wrong class, it's not good. And let's go check up what I did up top. This is closed right now. It should be a closed clip path as well. Something's working. I can see things changing underneath. And I'm actually thinking I might need a clip path to go the other way on the other text to make sure it doesn't get in the way, now that I think about it too, which sucks. So let's just turn off the saturation for a sec so it just has a purple background. Oh, that's turning on and off the clip. Oh, it's because I need a clip path here. Oh no, I don't have a transition. See, this is why, like, transition clip path of, I don't remember what I did, and an ease probably. Having one class that could do both of them, you might have to declare it. Clip path. You don't always have to declare it. In set, I think it was just like this, right? I don't even remember if it was comma separated or not. Oh, come on. Clip path. Not that one, I want. Oh, there's no commas. Good old CSS. Sometimes they have the commas, and sometimes they don't. Okay, so it's working for the background, for the text, but it's not working, so I feel like I mucked something up. Closed clip path. Oh, you know what? Check this out, everyone. We're breaking the law. Important. So it's working. I do have the problem, even if I raise the Z index on the text here, the background of this is transparent. So this is definitely proving to be a little bit more than I thought it would be, but that's okay. That's okay. That's fine. That's working. Ignore the important that's on there. The reason I did that is just here I'm saying clip path is closed, but then like down here I'm doing the other thing, and they're both equal specificity, so they're conflicting with each other. This one comes last, it wins. So that evolves. This is where layers would be nice, right? So now that I've reached this point, one thing that I'm thinking of is that it would actually be kind of to do this in a bit more agnostic way. What time is it? Okay, we're good for time. To do this in a bit more of an agnostic way instead of how I've been doing it up until now would be really cool. The only thing, because what I do need a clip path that's going to go that way, and I need a second clip path coming the other way to hide the blue version. I think the blue background wouldn't cause us problems in the long run, though the blend mode with the blue and the other thing might do something funky that I'm not sure about. But it's the text that I need to go away. Even if I tried bringing the purple background right now that will eventually be white up higher, oh, because that's white text, but there would be there's other colors in there, I think. Yeah, I'd probably muck something up, but if the white background is on top of white text, I guess it wouldn't cause any problems. But you probably still see the text come through in some of the spots, which you don't want to do. So I really need to have two clip paths going. And this is really messy right now. So I think the better approach, I think there's fine, like everything being in place right now is fine. But I think what we could do is, I think the clip path closed, I would rather do, okay, let's say, I'm going to say nav data big data. I'm thinking like if I have my main navigate, that big navigation, if that big navigation is open, Background blend mode's good, except the issue is you have to have all the backgrounds on one div. So I wouldn't actually be able to bring. I guess what I could do to accomplish that, if I wanted to do it all with one, but I wouldn't be able to. I can't use background blend mode because I have a video. It's a static image right now, but it's going to be a video, and we can't do video backgrounds, so I have to use background. I have to use mixed blend mode. I guess I could have like a background using a gradient where half of it's blue and half of it's white with just like a hard line, and I could actually move the background position back and forth. And then if I had an image behind that with a different, and I had one set background blend mode, that would definitely work. In this case, I'm gonna have to have two different blend modes depending on which color's in front probably, and I have a video behind that. So because it's separate elements, I need to use mixed blend mode. So if I go, is layers available? We might end up using layers, we'll see. So if I do like a data, we'll call it big nav is equal to open. We could do that. So when we click the button, this is the only thing that's actually going to get changed. Right? Yeah, this would be the only thing that would get changed. So we could toggle this state, and I could have like another one, which is this. And the advantage with doing that is then like we're using this closed, and we could style things here. If I was using Sass, it would be a little bit easier because I could nest everything, but I decided I didn't need Sass. So we're not using Sass. Because I think then we could manage this maybe a little bit better. I think. Because okay, when it's closed, I would have my, let's just look at my structure here for a second. I have my main grid. Then I have this div. Then I have my stack. Let me just collapse these. Main grid, stack. In my stack, I have all that stuff. Footer. I'm wondering here if there'd be a point to grouping these together or not. Like all of them in a single div or not. Doesn't really matter, but like almost like an overlay, just to like, these are all overlays or underlays, whatever you want to call them. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I'm just thinking if it would be easier to manage, but I don't think so. So yeah, if we did that, this one, I would actually change these names a little bit to link them in more than instead of BG primary and BG white, even though that's, I mean, sort of what they are. But we have my, let's just delete this for a second. Close clip path because I don't care. That's my nav grid and my content grid. So I would call this one, I think it's just going to make life easier. The blue one is my content grid BG, and this is my nav grid BG, and then we have my video BG. It's probably going to break everything, that's fine. Then here, we can say that my, so when the big navigation is closed, we want to have my content grid BG available. Let's just come here. I'm going to sort of so BG main content, no content grid. Okay, content grid BG. Background is my var color, primary 400. I forgot it. Okay, we'll fix the sizing in a second. I just want to, we're going to do this. Okay, that's there. We'll fix the sizing of this in a second. Then I have my, that's my content grid. Then I have my nav grid BG, which is my neutral 100. Neutral 100, which covers it. When my big nav is going to be closed, my nav grid BG, which will be nested in there, will get that clip path. Do I want to do it that way? Okay, I'm just going to take this and actually put this on all of them. So content grid BG, comma, nav grid BG. They're both going to have this. So this I can take off. No, I need, okay, my brain's not there yet completely. Okay, yeah, that's going to be fine. I need that for my main grid potentially, and I'm going to have to put that on probably a few different things. Okay, I was going to do it with this, and we still potentially could. Or I'm thinking in two different directions right now. So I want to move that. I have two of them that are going to go that way, and two of them that are going to be, so two of them are growing, two of them are shrinking. Let's try this. Because I was thinking I could also just have a, instead of a data big nav open or closed, I could be using a data attribute also as like a modifier class in a sense that's saying clip path visible and then clip path hidden, and it's just that data class that's being applied to different elements and showing and hiding stuff. So I could do it, there's sort of the two different ways that I could do it. I'm not sure which one the best one would be, but because this is a little bit similar to what I'm doing now. But anyway, nav grid as well. When they're both closed, they're going to get something on the right just went really dark. I think a light burnt out somewhere. So this this is not doing anything right now anyway. This is the one I want. So when they're closed, they're going to get this guy. Copy, paste. And then when it's open, let's just copy you. Oops, copy you. When they're open, this will just be 0, 0, 0. And then I prefer Noel. It's going to be on Twitch for a little bit, and it's actually, this will be on YouTube in 2 days from now. It'll be on Thursday. I'll be uploading pretty much exactly like the unedited version of this. Clip path inset there. Then we get this inset is going to go to there. Then, because I need the opposite the rest of the time. So in the, okay, let's delete you. I'm actually just going to duplicate this again. Whoops. And this turns into a comma. Then it's my content grid BG and my content grid. Oh no, that doesn't work. That would have been too easy. Let's copy these guys and switch those both over to my content grid. Then I think it's top, right, bottom, left. This one would go to 100% maybe. And then we'll copy this one do that. And this would be all zeros then. I have no faith in this actually working. But we'll find out in a second. So let's come back to here. Since I didn't make a JavaScript file. We don't need these now. We need a menu toggle, and I just need to select, I guess, my main grid. That's fine. Const main grid is equal to document.query selector. And I'm actually a little worried about the accessibility of this right now, of main grid. So when that happens, main grid, oh, that's annoying. We can't toggle attributes, can you? Attribute add, oh, whoops, main grid. Isn't it attribute? No, we can't do an attribute list. We can, we're recreating this, not this part of it though. The navigation opening and closing. There we go. That's what we're trying to recreate right now. JavaScript attribute toggle. We can't toggle. We have to do like an if statement, don't we? You check if it's there. Toggle attribute. Can we toggle attribute? Oh, come on. I didn't. Oh, we can toggle it like that. Okay, I'll just change. That's why. Okay, that's fine. Okay, toggle attribute. Is that all we have to do? Attribute. And I give it a name and force. I just want to make sure I. Oh, so it removes it if present and it's not there. Okay, so okay, that's fine. That here I'm just going to do, instead of that, we can just do. I sort of want to have the opening closed. I could have it just be data big nav open, like this. Yeah, we could do that. We could do that, right? So let's just, we'll 1 second. Data big nav open. So if we look here at my main grid, main grid. It goes open and then we remove it. Okay, so if that's working, does narrator look at area attributes? Yes, definitely. So here I'm a little concerned. Anyway, let's see what happens. If I take off the closed ones, and I take off these closed ones. The order here is less important because specificity gets involved. And then these get changed. That one, that one, that one, that one become open. Big data, big nav open. Nothing's happening. Why not? My CSS is saved. Data big nav open is here. Stack. No, yeah, I have to go on my stack. Let's just look at one of the ones that's there, which is my nav grid BG. Nav grid BG. Inset is 0, 0, 0, 0, which is good. And then if I click that, it's still. Oh, I have some over. Because I kept this as nav grid instead of content grid. Smart, Kevin. Yes. Except, why do I have no text in here? I'm actually, 1 second. I just want to do one thing. I don't even. Oh, here I'm doing the animation. Just for fun, I just want to see here. Nav grid BG transition delay 100 milliseconds. Let's do like 200. Okay, they are both going. So you can do like a fun little effect if you want to. And actually, I think there might have been a delay. That's kind of cool. That's closer to what we had before, in a sense of what like the video is actually doing there, because you can see the text actually comes in after. And I think when it goes that way, the text leaves a little bit faster too. This is should actually be a little bit longer. So nav grid, but whatever. Let's just put these at 500 for now. So that's going that way. That's coming back. So it's working both ways right now, which is fantastic. I just lost my content because my BG is here. Oh, I might need... it's because I had everything set up properly. So, and then we deleted that with the Z index E's here. So I'm just going to take you and I'm actually surprised they're fitting that size in a way. Okay, let's just take... I'm just going to leave this here. Let's take this inset off, which might actually... I don't know if that... I don't think it was causing any problems. But, okay, so that works a little better, and I think it's a better way to handle it, because now we can get the clip path going in both directions. So I'm happy that actually made sense and actually worked. This was my primary one is my main grid BG, and this is my nav BG, I think is what I called them. No, because I still don't. Content grid BG. The naming, I decided on this. Ah, look at that. It's working for the blue. We have content, it's working. And now, nav BG purple is not working clearly, because it's not my nav BG, it's nav grid BG. So now it's the purple. And let's just do a mix blend mode of color. So I don't know if this is color like that. So we get the two different, oh look, there's like a weird, because of the timing curves on it, there's like a weird overlap on them in the two directions, which is kind of interesting. But the problem is, I don't know if I do white on this, is it, oh, it does go black and white. Yes. It's not as black and white as I was hoping it would be. My video's like too saturated a little bit maybe. And I don't know if there's a good, because saturation won't work. Saturation is exactly the same apparently. Okay. That's so fun though that it's actually working. Now we just have to fix the positioning of it, which I thought I had done. Oh, it's because these are still wrong. So this CSS is a complete mess, but at least everything's working now. That would be here. And this would be my content grid BG now. And let's go over to here and let's go to my video and throw an autoplay on that. Of course, it's not autoplaying. Why is it not autoplaying? Is it Firefox doesn't block autoplay, does it? There's no sound on this video. Or do we need muted anyway? Yes! And we can go over to the other one. The video's playing the whole time. And we can go back to that one. Cool. You know what we could do actually to solve a bit, maybe? I don't know if this is going to solve it completely. But as a quick one, if I just come in here and I say opacity is like a 0.3 or something. Come on. Oh, I just realized it's also going to have to be looped. Is it loop or looped? What's the... It's just loop. Okay. Yes. So there, I see one issue right now, which is my text isn't coming in properly. The clip path this way is working properly. Going that way, my text is either turning off or on, oddly enough. Which means I don't have a transition for the clip path on that one. And that's just because my stuff here is a complete mess. Content grid BG, nav grid, we have this, we have that. Here I have my nav grid. Where's my main grid? Not my main grid even, it's my content grid. That's my backgrounds. there's where I set up my content grid. So here, I guess, well, whatever. Why am I, 1 second. What, content grid BG. This could be removed because we have that being controlled elsewhere. This transition actually should just be here, and that transition should also be here. And let's just take you, move you up. It shouldn't cause a problem. There we go. And now the text also fades off. Now the problem is I'm using ease, which isn't, I don't know if we change the ease to an ease in out, is that actually going to change anything? Ease in out. I don't know. Like, I don't know enough about my timing functions. That's even worse. The problem is one of them, like they're opposites each other right now, I think, right? With how it's working, I guess. So I'd have to play with the timing functions a little bit on that, I guess, without using linear, because linear would be kind of boring. Ease is the default, yeah. It'd be cool if we could get, and even, you know what, I'm just going to do on the content itself. Okay, just because we have it here, you'll notice when the navigation opens in this example, the color goes and the text follows it a little bit. And when we go this way, it's the other way around. And I think we can do that. I just want to see, I want to pay attention to the blue and what's happening with the blue text. I wasn't looking. The blue text, it doesn't do it on. It's only really doing it the other way. The mixed blend mode overlapping is really bothering me, but I don't know what the solution to that is. But if I say the content grid, no, I want it on my nav grid. By default, the nav grid is hidden. So I want to do a nav grid transition delay, like we looked at a little bit ago, and I'll do like 200 milliseconds. So if we do that, it just means, see, the problem now is it's doing it this way, but it's also doing it that way, which we don't want. We only want it to delay going that way. And I actually want it to be the other way around. When I go the other way around, I want it to be the other, like the opposite. So for that, right now it's open. So when it's open, so I actually only want this delay. So actually this delay is going to be here on my nav grid BG, I think. And then when the navigation is open, I think this is going to work. I want to do a transition delay of 200 milliseconds. Is that the one I used here? Yeah. I either got it backwards or this will work. Let's see. So yeah, let's do 400. Just see. Oh, what? No, that shouldn't be a problem actually. See, oh wait, whoops, I'm doing the same thing. I have my nav grid BG, nav grid. That way, the text is still too slow. Part of the problem might actually be that the distance the clip path is moving is different because one of the items is bigger than the other item. But it's definitely working that way. If I turn that off for a second. Oh, this is the text. Correct. So yeah, that's the text. So this one's working that direction. Maybe I just don't. Let's just boost this one up for a second. So the text comes in a little after. Oh, it's because it's not only, I'm delaying the background going, which isn't really mattering. It's more this happening. The content grid is more of the issue. Let's just do a I might be getting, let's just do 500 milliseconds. I think I'm going to break stuff more by doing this. It's kind of fun. It's too long. 200 that way. And then, I don't know. I'm overcomplicating matters now, I think, especially considering I had it working. It's kind of fun having that double effect, though. I'm sure if I spent more time like thinking about this, I could actually get it to work a little bit better. just to figure out the timings that I would need and the delays that I would actually need and where each delay should go. But already I'm pretty happy with that as it is, and I got it working. Typo, it's time to answer the questions. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with how that turned out, and I will be answering the questions in a second. But I'm pretty happy with how that's worked out. There's definitely some improvements that could be made. The text is, maybe the text transition should be a little bit faster, but we could delay it a little bit as we go that way. But it's cool that our navigation stays, our social links can stay, and the content in the middle can go back and forth. From an accessibility concern, my main thing is right now, when we click the button, first we should have something on our button, which is, I don't even know where I put my button now, it's in my header. We should have an area controls on this, area controls, and say what this is controlling. So what is it controlling? It is controlling my nav grid. So here I can do an ID of nav grid as well. And so it's controlling that nav grid. So we'll do this really fast. So nav grid. And then the other thing is an area no, what is it? Area controls, and I'm forgetting the next one. If anybody in the chat could help me out. The one that says expanded is equal to false by default, right? Because when it opens, it's not open. And then when we do that, it actually does open. And we go that way, it closes again. So it's saying that this is controlling nav grid. Yeah, it's controlling this div, and right now it's closed, so area expanded is false. And if you click this button or activate it, however, with your keyboard, whatever it is, then it will open that part up and expose it. So that would mean coming down here and doing we'd need an if statement then, because for this it would be if menu toggle menu toggle, I don't want to toggle the attribute, I want to see what the attribute is. 1 second. I wrote menu, thank you. And then menu toggle, so change attribute value JavaScript. That's what I was looking for before. Set attribute, that's the one I wanted. So there's set attribute and there's also get attribute, right? Is it get attribute, the other one? Get element by ID, get attribute, yeah. So get, oh here, I would do this actually. Main grid, or is open, not is open. Menu state is equal to the attribute. So it's my menu toggle get attribute, and I want to get the attribute of area expanded. So if we console log that, console log, did I make a typo again? Menu state. Oh, whoops. Thank you. So if I click that and we look at my console, I have an error. Oh, that won't help. So false. Why is it only running once? It's always saying false. Oh, because we're not changing it. You haven't changed it yet, but it's telling us, so this is currently false. So then I could say if, the one thing here is you can't say menu state and just do that or not menu state, because even though it's reading false, it's actually a string, I'm pretty sure. Oh, maybe it's not. I always thought it was a string, but whatever. Just in case, I'm just going to do an equals false. We can, my const isn't being redefined. Because this lives in this space, this function gets run when we click. Like this function here gets run when we click, so it doesn't matter if it's const or not. You'll see it will change. If we had this out here and then I was trying to modify it like an existing constant, but it's like this, I don't know what the word is, but it like once the function runs, it's gone, and then the next time it runs, it's there again. We'll see if this works, or false. We'll see. Anyway, we'll find out. If it's false, then we want to menu toggle. We want to set attribute, area expanded, comma, true. And you can write true or false here as like booleans, and it just converts it to a string, if I remember right. And it's either going to be true or false, so I'm not going to check again. I'm just going to do an else statement. But if you wanted to be more explicit, I guess you could, and false. And hopefully we now should, and every time we do it, let's do after it's done, let's do our console log of menu state. Not that we won't see it anyway, but we should get a false and then a true and then a false and then a true. Is it backwards? Let's find out. Nav, where's my button? Area controls, area expanded is false. That's good. I turn it on. Area expanded is now true. Click it again. Area expanded is false. And that pops back up. Cool. So it's working properly. Yeah, awesome. So there I don't know if there's anything more there's probably some accessibility issues in here, ignoring colors and other stuff that's clearly problems. But we got the functionality there. We've at least got some basic accessibility on that. So I'm pretty happy with how that's working. I think it's looking pretty good. Yeah, I don't think we can try that, but I'm pretty sure I've done that before where I can't do menu state because I'm not, let's try. And maybe I'm wrong. I'm not getting a console error, so maybe I can. I'm so sure. So it's false. You see it's staying false. It's never changing. Oh no, it's up here. That's my button. Oh, it's up there. Yeah, it's never changing now. And I'm 99% sure when you get an attribute, it's getting it as a string. So it's just easier to do that. And there we have it. Obviously, I didn't completely finish it, but I got through the part I wanted. And if you do like these types of videos where I do this type of thing unedited and you want to see more of them, there is a playlist right here for your viewing pleasure. And with that, a really big thank you to my supporters of Awesome over on Patreon, Jan, Johnny, Stuart, and Tim, as well as all my other patrons for their continued support. And of course, until next time, don't forget to make your corner of the internet just a little bit more awesome.